Hi all, so right now I'm doing a trade review for this NZD JPY pair that we have just taken profit of. So in general, JPY pairs are all heading south on the downward trend, probably due to the strengthening of yen itself. So we spotted a long setup right here with NZD JPY bouncing off this strong support level at about 76.1. So my entry signal for this trade was actually this bullish pin bar over here. So after this bullish pin bar was formed, I dived down into the 4-hour chart to look for an entry. So looking at this 4-hour chart, we can actually see some sort of flip zone around 76 level. So I placed my entry order just above the zone and do a 1.5R risk to reward ratio projection, and we are lucky to get out within 1 4-hour candle itself. So that's a nice profit, but I must say that this is a very lucky trade, or you don't expect such trade to happen that regularly in the future. That's all. Hi all, this is the Aussie USD pair daily chart. So last week we took a position on this pair as well, and we are carrying this over the weekend, and we'll see how it plays out next week. So our entry signal was actually this pin bar over here, bounced off this pretty strong support level at about 0.7742 area. So we wait for a slight retracement to 0.781 region, and the trade was executed. So we placed our stop loss 1 pip below this low of the pin bar. So initially the trade wasn't in our favor, but currently it's looking pretty well. But if we were to look at a 4-hour time frame itself, the entry wasn't really ideal because we were seeing a lot of overhead resistance that were encountered on the 4-hour time chart. So after entering the trade, well, I was actually very hesitant whether we should continue to let it play out. But since the trade has already been placed, so we just let it move, and we actually violated another rule in the process. We never hold trades over news, and this trade was actually kind of forgotten, and it was actually carried over the non-farm payrolls. We were just lucky that our stops wasn't triggered, and price actually moved in our favor. But in the future we should take extra caution, and always remember to close the trade or actually reduce our position sizing moving forward. So well, evaluating the current position, price is actually broken quite significant resistance level over here, this upper yellow box zone. So as long as price is able to hold onto this level, we should just let the trade play out, and hopefully we can take profit from this trade itself. Hi, also right now we are looking at the pound JPY pair on the daily chart. So we have taken a long trade last week upon the formation of this pin bar on 7th of March. So we decided to place our entry about a third of the high of the pin and place our stop loss just about 1 to 2 pips below the low of this pin bar itself. So our price didn't move in our favor, and we have to manually close this trade on Friday itself just before the yen announcement, as we didn't want to carry the risk. So on hindsight, there are some lessons to be learned. The price was actually below this 200 MA over here. In the future, perhaps you could wait for a break above this 200 MA and wait for price to stabilize before we decide to take a long trade itself. We could see here that price bounced off the 200 MA quite significantly, and only on Friday itself, after a break, it eventually break above the 200 MA, but it's still resisted by this 50 MA over here. So MA, though it's not part of our strategy, it could be one of the confluence factors that we will be looking for going forward. Also, on this pound JPY pair itself, as we look down in the 4-hour time frame, there was actually a lot of overhead resistance over here. So actually a better long entry would be for price to clear this resistance level. Maybe you can do a buy stop over here and take a long trade up itself. That would be a better trade. That's all. Hi all, this is the Western Texas Intermediate 4-hour chart. Last week we took a long trade on this pair, following the sell down and bounce off this 60.8 support level. We place our stop 1 pip below this swing low over here. Price didn't move in our favor, and we were eventually stopped up with a 1 hour loss. Price, on hindsight, price eventually continued to sell down and pierce through this significant support level at 60.2. It formed a valid pin bar over here, and we should have taken a long trade, and which would eventually tip it for us.
Hi traders, this is Bill here. This week, Chris made 4 trades and our capital is now standing at around $1,000. We still have one trade which is pending. Hopefully in week 11, I will be able to see some good setups which will lead to good results. So if you like the content that you're watching, do give us a like and also subscribe to this channel. Because at the end of the day, will we succeed? We shall see. See you next week.